YouTube, what's going on, man? It's Father Dark. It's Friday. Nice, beautiful day outside, and everybody's happy about that. But with this video, I just wanted to go ahead and preface and say that this video is going to be a lot different than any of the other videos that I've done before. If you haven't joined my Discord, I'd recommend going ahead and joining it because that's what this whole video is based around. Is just people from the Discord. We have some young men, some young women, some older, more experienced players and stuff. We have everybody from every different type of skill level. We have almost damn near pro players. We have in between players. We have people that only play casually and everything in between all of that stuff. So I think it's a really interesting look to be able to have people that are from all different skill levels and to see what their gripes and what their issues and stuff and what they would change coming into the new season and stuff, or even just the mid-season update that we're about to get here pretty soon. So like I said, this is going to be one of those videos where you just kind of put it on, just kind of imagine like a podcast. There's not going to be any gameplay or anything. I just kind of wanted to allow people to just talk and tell their feelings. And like I said, joining the Discord, you will be able to do stuff like this because this won't be the only video that I do like this. In the future, I plan to do a lot more of these along with like custom games and, tournaments and stuff like that, where we may have prizes and stuff that I have to say that that's completely separate from YouTube. YouTube makes you talk about that. They have nothing to do with that. This is just personal stuff that I do for my subscribers, and stuff like that in the game. And not to mention too that, like I said, a lot of times we just get together and we just have these really good conversations that are really interesting along with the custom matches and the tournaments and stuff like that too. So pretty much whatever you're into, there's a different reason for everybody to join. But like I said, though, this is the kind of video that you just kind of put on while you're, you're out doing yard work or you're just chilling, cleaning the house, driving around, whatever. This is going to be a lot longer than my normal videos simply because there was a lot of people that wanted to talk. So I just gave them plenty of time. And you also have to forgive my mic in the video. At the time, I was still getting construction done on my house and there was a lot of just like clanging and stuff going on. So I kept my mic volume very low. And because of the length of the video, I'm not going to go back and edit every time that I said something. That would just be way too tedious to go in there and edit my volume. I did it in certain parts where it was like longer and stuff, but there are going to be a few parts where you can't really hear me as well as the rest of the people, but you don't really need to hear me because all I'm doing is just telling the other person that they can speak now on the stage. So, but yeah, like I said, sit back and enjoy the video. And like I said, join the Discord if you'd like to be in future videos like this, where you can get on and you can talk about your experiences and things that may or may not be frustrating you in the game. All right.
Yeah, so I'm PrestoPuma. I've kind of I've been playing since around the start of season 0. And I've had some mixed gameplay. I've just now gotten back into the game, and it could get a bit mixed feelings about it. Personally, I think a lot of it has to do with my own I would say, like, how to put it, my own uh sorry, I'm straight, but
Take your time. There's no rush.
my own abilities, I would say, like my own skill level, it needs to rise up. Like, I haven't had enough practice personally. I haven't got any of my characters to Lord yet. I feel like I still am working on my own ability to understand mechanics as well as that. So it's more on me to an extent, but also I've had problems with teammates in certain areas. But again, I feel like there's been times where I've had teammates carry me. I've had times where I've carried teammates, and times where I just performed better than I thought I would, and times where I performed worse than I thought I would. Right now, I think I'm still trying to get my bearings on where I'm at in my own skill level.
Okay.
Personally, though, I would say a lot of it feels a bit overblown in certain cases, and other times, I feel like I agree with a lot of sentiments of what it's like to try to rank up, because solo queue can be pretty miserable, especially you if you're still getting used to the game and haven't fully understood the mechanics, and it gets more frustrating when you have when you get the lottery pool of teammates, and sometimes you get bad ones, sometimes you get good ones. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of it has to do with your own personal skill level, and I just have to get mine ready up, because I've done times where I've had games where it's like, okay, my healers are not doing enough, my DPS is literal garbage. Uh, and other times where it's like, hey, dude, you're like, oh, wait, you went Moon Knight? Okay, I guess that puts a lot of pressure on me now that I'm taking. It's like, dude, he's like, dude, you were literally blocking more than most of the damage, dude. You would do it like we feel like you could solo tech. It's like, oh, okay, I really am doing that good, and I went 10-1. So apparently, like there are times where I'm just doing better than I thought I would, and I think it's just a bit of a learning experience. I've been looking at a lot of guides for characters as well as different ways of how to position yourself through YouTube videos and whatnot. So I feel like it's just a matter of the work you put in as well as like the mindset you go into of focusing on improving yourself first before considering what ranked really means. Because a lot of us, I think, focus so much on trying to like show our status by getting higher in rank and finally get those players that are good when really we still have a lot to learn about the mechanics and getting those primary instincts of the controls down for our own characters before we could start like worrying about other things. So it's a matter of trying to beat yourself rather than trying to beat the enemy, I think, in a lot of ways.
And for the listeners, what is your rank currently?
My rank currently is so far it's silver 2, but I've made it to silver 1, and this is the farthest I've gotten, but that's usually because I haven't really put in the effort to try it with ranked. I still feel like I could probably do better, but it's just a matter of putting in more work to practice and whatnot.
And just out of curiosity, what's if you could talk to the devs directly, what's something that you feel like that they can improve on overall, like from your personal experiences in the game?
From my personal experience, I would think that I would suggest trying to encourage more team play in some way, like try to adjust the mechanics to where like, oh hey, doing this while not getting more kills could do more, like adding, I would think like doing damage to a character or killing a character that's going after one of your own, like what do you call it usually, like a save uh or
You mean like a
like a
healer that's
save
being
kill or
dived
something
or
like
something like that?
like how in team FPS shooters there is a mechanic where if you kill someone that's going after a teammate, you get a save kill, which is basically like, oh, you get like the savior award, which is basically like, you know, you just saved your opponent from dying by killing the guy that was killing them.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
that kind of mechanic, and I
Yeah.
think that could really do a lot to help a lot of characters rank up as well as encourage more gameplay of team play. And I think
that's a
that's,
great
but
idea.
ultimately, I think it's just a matter of crowding the community to the most part.
No, I think that's an excellent idea. That's definitely, I believe, the savior challenge. You're referring to Call of Duty with that. That's something they have. You help out your teammates.
It's in a lot of different FPS shooters. Personally, I've seen it in like days playing Battlefield and whatnot, but it's in a lot of different games.
Okay. All right. Well, Presto, we're gonna move on to Scotty now for time restraints, but
Sure.
I do appreciate your input, buddy. I think it's really good.
Oh yeah, of course.
All righty. Scott, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, hey, how's it going? Name's Scott Free. I'm a Gold 1 flex player that primarily focuses on tank and support. And yeah, what's going on, everybody?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, just go ahead and tell us about your like what you've experienced so far in season 2, what your thoughts are, struggles, strengths, all that kind of stuff.
So I've seen a lot, like everyone is probably going to echo a bit later on. And like Adrian said before, there's a ton of dive going out right now. People are getting into those backlines and they're learning how to just delete supports. Um, and as a person that was playing Overwatch on launch and transitioned into Rivals and I'm still playing both games, I think it's pretty cool to finally see like another game go through the same growing pains that the Overwatch community went through. I think right now we're going to see a lot of support players learning that not only do they have to heal each other, but they also have to figure out a way to stay alive that doesn't only rely on your teammates. We all get good teammates, we all get bad teammates. The only common denominator in any of our games is us. So that's why I think you're going to start seeing in the next few months, probably season 3, we'll probably see a lot more of the coaching and a lot more of the coaches of Marvel Rival talking about insulating supports and how that means that you as a team can position yourself in a way where you want to clog up and box out the lanes where the divers want to use. So to paint a picture, imagine if every map had 3 lanes in it. There's the main lane where most people are. They just stand in main and they just shoot shots down main, and that everyone's having a good time. Tons of Marvel Rivals happening there. But imagine there are 2 more lanes on the side, almost like a highway. When your team can position in a way where you're blocking the avenues to your backline, and your backline is kind of in the middle, it's similar also to how people build up their backline in chess. You'll notice that it's a lot harder for divers to get in either unnoticed, which happens a ton outside of Spider-Man because he's rolling around at the speed of sound. But the rest of the divers will either lose a ton of HP, have to burn cooldowns that they didn't want to, or take a long time to stage because they're either waiting for healing from across the map, finding health packs, etc. I think being able to disrupt a dive before it happens is going to start being the way people play this game. The common advice of bunching up together and standing in a circle is probably one of the worst things you can actually suggest to do. Sure, you can play tons of defensive heroes, but we can't play defensively forever in games like this, and the metas are constantly changing, so that's not always going to be viable. I think people just have to remember that it's a team game, and that thinking about yourself is not the same thing as worrying about yourself. And what I mean by that is you shouldn't worry about the mistakes your teammates made and get so angry that it's tilting you and whatever else. But you should be considerate of where your teammates are and what they're trying to do. Maybe that Lord Spider-Man that's 1 in 9 in your team, maybe they just need someone to heal them. And when I mean heal them, I don't mean you're in the back of your team, Spider-Man's on the other side of the map, he's not peeking, all the rest of that stuff, because we know what bad players and bad timing looks like. I'm talking about the people that are waiting for proper engagement timings. They are popping up into your line of sight. They're just not running back to you. I think there's a little bit of nuance in that scenario, in that interaction between DPS and supports. And something we were talking about earlier, about how a lot of support players think that they need to heal their tanks and DPS 100% to full during fights. That's a lot of the reasons why you're reloading in the middle of like burst windows from the opponents that you're playing against. There's a lot of offense in these sorts of games are burst heavy. There's like an ebb and flow. One team tries to engage and use their cooldowns and their abilities and their positioning to take space or win fights. And that's when the receiving team should back up a bit, use their cooldowns and their timing and cover to catch that aggression, stabilize, and by stabilize I mean heal up a little bit. You heal up enough, and now it's your turn to be aggressive and push. And in the higher ranks, you'll start seeing that ebb and flow of that push and pull. You won't see it in the lower ranks as much. But I think overall, I think the community is going to learn a lot from season 2. I hope NetEase learns a lot from season 2. We have a little bit more balance of a meta. I think triple support is kind of insane. I don't think it's a really good comp. I think high sustain, and to that degree, with these ults that last as long as they do, not the move. I genuinely think that a few strong supports should be there for almost to be heal bots, almost. And then the rest of them should have a different level of skill expression utility that they bring to the table. Because I think the more dynamic the support role is, and the better the player base gets, the less reliant people are going to be on supports that have to heal 40,000 in a match. I'm sure there's plenty of support players out there that love the fact that they drop those super high numbers in their games, but realistically think about this. You're playing a team shooter, an FPS kind of third-person shooter. You should be able to do more than just keep other people alive. You should have the ability with your creative mind to use a kit that has other utility other than just keeping yourself and others alive. And I think once we as a community learn that it's okay for supports to do something other than just heal, I think we're going to get some really cool hero kits. And I think the characters that we can look at that kind of see that NetEase gets that are characters like Mr. Fantastic. He's definitely a hybrid. He's just a Vanguard that sits in a DPS slot. You can see them doing certain things like with Storm with her speed boost and her goddess boost. There's definitely them testing that. But I think like a melee support, and I think a lot more nuanced kits, or at least some changes to the current kits, I think would go a long way. Yeah, that's my spiel.
Well, thank you very much, Scott. That was very well put. We do appreciate it. And with that being said,
sorry.
Yes, you got something else to add?
Last thing I wanted to say, I almost forgot. Yeah, Overwatch and Marvel Rivals, these team shooter games, these are thinking games. They are not purely mechanical skill reliant. So when you're looking for people to help you with gameplay, don't just look at somebody that has high mechanical skill. Look at somebody that knows how to think and teach you to think. Thank you.
Hey, once again, that was very well put, Scott. I do appreciate your time. You have anything else you want to add, or you landing your plane there?
No, I'm good. I'm gonna pump the brakes there. That was the first thing I wanted to say, and then I realized I had all the other words too.
Oh
Appreciate
no,
you, Dark.
no, you're fine. I appreciate you. Next, let's move on to I believe let's get a female voice in here. One, are you ready to speak?
Sure, I can speak.
Okay. I just want to preface and say with one is one of the most goated Jeff players on the planet. Everyone, and anyone that dislikes Jeff, it's probably because of this individual, probably flanking your back line. But with that being said, I'll go ahead and let you speak, Jeff. Or one, I mean.
I guess you can call me Jeff if you want.
No. Jeff was on the brain at that point. You were terrorizing me last night in the custom matches, so I was having nightmares.
I feel like season 2 has been a very dive meta season, and a lot of strategist players have been really struggling with it. A lot of the strategist heroes aren't very good against dive. Like Adam Warlock, Luna Snow, and Mantis they have some tools in their kit to help you with dive, like the Luna Snow's freeze or Mantis's sleep. Adam's kind of just has nothing for him. I feel bad for them. But a lot of the time I find that strategists don't want to switch to heroes that can survive the dive. Like if they want to survive Black Panther, uh, Spider-Man, they can really just play Cloak and Dagger, Jeff, or like Rocket, and they'll have enough survivability to play the whole game. And a lot of the time, I find that my strategists that are playing with me will not heal their other strategist in a team fight. They'll just keep focusing on the tanks even while they're dying, or they won't look behind them and heal their fellow strategist or DPS. They get really locked in on the tanks. Because if you're getting dived and you heal each other, you're just going to survive. You can survive a whole ultimate if you're healing your other strategist. I've seen videos on TikTok of invisible women putting up their shield and then the two strategists just standing next to the shield and healing each other and just surviving everything. It's a really good strategy, and I don't see enough people using it.
Okay. All right. So what would you change if you could, from your perspective of the game and what you have to deal with on a regular basis? Or it doesn't have to necessarily be you, but just in general, maybe to help teams be more efficient, or just something personal for you, whatever the case is.
I feel like they need to change up some of the strategists or add strategists that can actually make more game-changing plays. A lot of the strategists in this game are heal bots, and if you don't, for example, I play Jeff, and I get a lot of hate for actually DPSing at times. Even if I'm doing a lot of healing, I'll get the same amount of heals or more than my teammates sometimes. But they'll still hate on you because I'm not standing in the back healing the entire game. And I find that that's quite boring. If you're going to have an entire role that just sits back and heals the whole time, of course people are not going to find the role fun. Especially in these high elos where if you play like Rocket, for example, you're going to have no fun because 90% of his gameplay is just you sitting in a corner holding right click, and if you do anything different, they will not be happy with you.
Okay, all right. Yeah, it was a pretty good perspective. I think that we're starting to kind of see a trend here of the dive meta and healers and whatnot. But let's move on to Fade here and see what he's got to say. Fade, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, name's Fade. Main account's Fade Demon. Last season 1.5 was able to hit Eternity. Thank God, that was such a ridiculous grind. And as a DPS main, not gonna lie, this season hasn't been that terrible for me. I don't actually necessarily run dive or anything like that. I'm a Bucky main, so I usually try to mitigate dive when I can. But with the new changes in the point system, a lot of times that I'm carrying and like get it's really nice because a lot of times when I run Bucky and I won't lose a ton of points during that. Even though the team could suck, the team comp could suck, I'm not losing a ton of points when I decided to carry. That's great, but at the same time for the healers and the supports, they're losing a ton of points when that happens. So things like, adding points for the payload, adding things like that, different metrics to really make more sense, so that people that are doing things that can win games that go unsung are still accounted for in the point system if they're willing to still keep it. Another thing I wish they would kind of get rid of is the penalty system too. So, say for instance, everyone does bad on the team, but of course you might be a support and you weren't able to heal because you were getting dove the whole time, and your DPSs were never looking back. But now you're taking a super fat hit for it. They should probably just get rid of that entirely. Make it that the whole team loses the same amount, but maybe the person that was actually carrying or doing MVP, they get the point reduction, something like that, so it doesn't feel so harsh and people get completely throttled for doing something like that. That time on payload, all that stuff, I really think would help the health of the game right now because at this point in time, especially with the rank reset, higher elo areas, they're going through a little small renaissance. Like, oh, okay, we dropped off a lot of the people that were playing a lot but don't mean to be here. But then the lower lobbies still have like elo hell. So things like placement matches, I definitely welcome. Where every new season we do placement matches, we can, higher skilled players can move out of those lobbies they would have been in for a very long time and just terrorize people that are actually trying to learn the game or are new to the game. And things like that I would like because we want the game not to die. The game is like a really good game. I don't want to see a game like catch fire for like a couple months and then like 6 months down the road, like where you have only like 3,000 people on server. Things like that. I like. I'm really seeing the potential to this. I don't necessarily hate this season. Like one of four said, give the supports more kits to deal with certain things. Give them more like a type of kit loadout or even buff them in certain offensive capabilities to make them more involved in getting kills. That happens that could definitely help a lot. Makes it feel more dynamic. But that's my experience with season 2.
Okay. All right. And I know you already kind of mentioned something that you think that they should change, but do you have anything else in regards to what you think that they could do dev wise to kind of like improve in the next season?
I mentioned how the MMR, like the MMR elo systems kind of works right now. So it's a bit weird because people talk about EOMM a lot and they feel that it's really affecting their games to the point where it's like they're on this complete huge cascade of I'm winning like crazy and then the game comes after me and kills all my points to keep me playing. And I think that's a result of trying to make up for the fact that we want all people to experience the same type of game. Like, okay, you're going to have a hot streak you're killing. You're also going to have a streak where you're losing. But it's like the lower elo you would think you are, lower skill, you would think you lose a lot of the time, but that's not happening. But there's ways to actually to change certain things. So even without affecting the entire player base, people that might be lower skilled that are just learning and will get better, they can still have a decent experience, but at the same time, get the little bit of humble pie they need to say, you know what? I don't need to play ranked. I could run quick play, or I should probably be intentional in getting my gameplay better, which is something that even Scott was here talking about because he does coaching as well, Yeah, if they could implement something like that so people aren't completely just doom and gloom about how the matchmaking system is, I think a lot more people would be more positive going into ranked matches and stuff like that.
Okay. All right. Well, Faye, we do appreciate it, buddy. If you're landing your plane there, I'm going to go ahead. Tiffany, are you ready to speak?
Yep.
Hi.
Hi, Tiffany.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised.
Oh, yeah? Why are you surprised?
Yeah. Well, I'm more of a casual player, I only play ranked to get the skin. Not gonna lie. Right?
Yeah, well, the whole purpose of this was to get perspectives from everybody in the community.
From
male,
everybody.
females, casual players, in-between players, low rank,
Okay.
medium rank, high rank. We kind of want to hear from everybody.
Nice.
So, but quick question really
All
fast, if you don't mind me asking. I noticed you got a lot of emojis next to your name. Are you a teacher by chance?
No.
No?
I
Okay.
think this when I created it, I was trying to kind of put different aspects. So like the microscope is because I studied sciences. I could draw and I like gaming. That's why I have the laptop and I do some content creation as well.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I have all those emojis.
Okay. Would you like to plug yourself really quick for the
Me,
audience?
Sure, my social media is High Street Cred. Is also my in-game name. And yeah, that's about it. My name is Tiffany. I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. You can hear my accent.
You can.
And I'll try not to speak too fast.
No, take
Yeah.
your time. Take your time.
Right. So I usually, I never played any hero shooters before this one, right? And I only actually heard about Overwatch when they have been comparing it to Marvel Rivals. So I didn't even really know about that whole scene, right? I played Marvel Rivals probably from around the ending of season 0. And then I really started to get into it in season 1. I was kind of encouraged to try ranked in season 1. I made it to goal 2. But I got a little bit of help to reach to goal 2, not all solo queue. This season, however, I think I'm having a much harder time. I spent a long time in bronze. Like I just got out of bronze maybe 2 days ago. So I'm silver 3 now, right? I usually play support. I like to play support and then tank. I've tried to fill, but I'm not very good at DPS. So I try to kind of stay away from that when I go into rank because my aim is not the best, right? The whole dive meta thing is very difficult. Other people touched on it. I think one of the problems with Marvel Rivals, and I think it's more the community, not I don't know if it's game design, but I think it's more of the player base where we're not playing as a team, but maybe that's low elo. I don't know if it's different higher up and stuff like that. But we don't play together as a team. And we may need to do that more, especially with the meta, with the dive and playing support. So, for example, there was a game I played and I had to fill and I was DPS. So I chose Human Torch because I really need to aim at it to shoot fire at the ground, right? So I was I was playing Human Torch and I think our supports were Cloak and Dagger and Invisible Woman. And there was one Black Panther. So there was only one diver on the enemy team. And after the first round had finished, one of them typed in the chat that they need help with the dive, right? So, but I usually play support. So I was telling them, you just need to heal each other and you would survive the dive because it's one Black Panther, right? But they don't want to hear that. And I think also that's a community thing with all the support strike and all that going on. They thinking I'm a DPS main maybe, and why is this DPS telling me to just heal through dive? So they kept dying. I tried to help them, right? I tried to dive onto the ground as torch and stuff like that, and looking out for him, but they weren't healing each other. They weren't helping each other, so they kept dying. And I think also people they're not open to. I don't want to say not really open to learning. Maybe they're not open to being self-critical in some ways. I mean, I was kind of like that in the beginning. I thought I was kind of not good, but good enough to get to goal. But there are still a lot of things I have to learn, and everybody needs to learn in a game like this. I think there are a lot of people who are like me who never really played hero shooters before, and I think they think a little too highly of themselves. Some people need to look in the mirror and and work on some stuff. Yes, we get bad teammates sometimes, but sometimes the bad teammate might be us.
Very good point. Very good point. So with season 3 coming up, or not coming up, but when it does come up, what's something that you feel like could be changed to kind of encourage people to work together more, in your opinion?
That's a good question. I think people, their mindset needs to change, and that's very difficult to do. People just have to, for themselves, want to work together as a team. I'm not sure what outside factors could help with that. Even even the meta right now should actually be encouraging more team play, as in tanks and DPS peeling for their supports and supports healing each other and stuff. But I feel like that's not even happening.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think most of us here share the same sentiment, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything else that you'd like to add, Tiffany?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Well, we really do appreciate you speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Next, I'm going to move on to Zeldrus. Zeldrus, are you ready to speak?
I am indeed.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and introduce yourself, and then you can begin.
Hello, guys. I am Soldiers FGC. My experience with Rivals, I had the luxury to be able to play the alpha testing and the beta testing for the game. And let's just say that the game has come a long way. While, yes, the dive comp can be annoying to deal with, like some of the people have no idea how strong poke was during the alpha and beta phase. Like, Punisher and Hela were like literally the two top DPSs dominating the entire game. Like, no competition. And while again, yes, die can be annoying to deal with, especially if you're playing as a strategist for this season. Um, Most people tend to not see that there's three different team comps for the game. You got your poke team comp, dive team comp, and your brawl. If you see the enemy team running dive, play a brawl team comp. But majority of the time, people are just too egotistical to wanting to do switches. And I know I spoke with Scott before, in terms of at least fighting game perspective, where normally if you're playing as a character that doesn't really do well against a certain matchup, like, most people would want to continue playing that character just so they can learn that matchup. But at the same time, if it's obviously not going anywhere and you're just going to keep getting diffed every single time, just learn how to switch. Like, it's not that hard. But again, just people are just so egotistical that they only care about their stats and keep forgetting that this is a team-based game. This is not Call of Duty where you can be in a team, but you matter about yourself.
I agree with that. I agree. So going forward, what's something that you think should change to maybe, I don't know, help people encourage that mindset, or do you think that there is anything that can be done?
If for season 3 onwards, if they do plan on implementing like the one hero once a month ordeal, depending on how long that goes, because me personally, I don't think that's going to work out in the long run, just due to balancing purposes. But I feel like they need to start incentivizing certain characters when it comes to certain roles. Like if they add a new strategist, if they add a new vanguard, give them something new, something refreshing, instead of just another invincibility ult that prevents them from dying for like a brief period of time. Like out of all the strategists, Jeff is probably the only most unique one, because all the other strategists have a ult that makes them unkillable for a brief time. Loki being able to copy somebody's ult and a res. Jeff is legit the only unique one.
That's a very valid point.
And
I never
then
thought about that, honestly.
And then I will also say incentivize more of the lesser used team ups, because obviously the most team ups that I've seen happening is either Punisher Rocket team up, Spidey Venom team up, of course the Hulk and Namor Gamma Squid team up. Like if you start incentivizing the more lesser used team ups and just give them like a little bit more pep in the step, I feel like the comps will actually be ever changing and people can be able to get around certain comps instead of just complaining and griping and moaning.
Okay, all right.
So that's just me though.
Do you have anything else to add, or do you want to land your plane there?
No, that's really all I got.
Okay, you got any plugs or anything? If anyone else has any that I missed prior, we'll do that at the end of the video. Do you got any plugs or anything, Zeldrus, just right here?
No, I really don't.
No? Okay. All right, well, we appreciate your input, buddy.
Yeah, of course.
All right, 1 second. I'm going to unmute Adrian. I don't know if when I mute him, if it mutes him for everyone, but there was a little bit of Adrian, can you hear me?
Oh no, I muted myself because of background audio.
Yeah, no, it was just, I think like it sounds like you got a fan or something. I just muted you so for the recording it wouldn't bleed over into while other people were speaking. But I'm going to get to you in a moment. I believe Loki wanted to speak next, and then I'm going to do you, and then I will move over to Evil Witch or Jean. So, alrighty, sound good?
Okay.
Loki, are you ready to speak?
Yes, I am.
Okay, all right. Would you like to introduce yourself?
So, I'm Loki, big fan. I usually play support
Mm-hmm.
in Marvel Rivals,
Mm-hmm.
and usually what I don't see most of the time is like healers not healing like each other or something, or just healers just being like bad at the support thing in general
Mm-hmm.
so far. And I've played basically every healer except Warlock probably, and so far what I really see is whoever I play, unless it's like Rocket, I'll get destroyed as a dive. If I play Loki, who I'm really good as, Moon Knight will counter me, so I'll switch like Rocket, but then some type of like dive will immediately just kill me in the first like 5 seconds of my life.
Mm. Okay. And what do you think
Or
that they could do to help with that? And just really quick too, you said you play. I'm assuming you said you play Loki, correct?
yeah,
That's your
I
main.
play every healer except Warlock. I don't really have a main.
No. Well, let's just say if you had to
No.
choose one for a serious match, who would you pick? Just kind of off instinct.
I'd probably pick Jeff. He's
Jeff.
probably the most used. Yeah, he's probably my most used support right now.
And
And I've
what
played
is it
like
that you like about Jeff the most? Not to cut you off, but what do you like about Jeff the most?
I probably just like how like I'm a really big fan of like sharks and stuff, and also I just like his ult. It's unique, different from every other healer. What who's who's the person who said like Jeff is that the one unique one like with his ult?
I believe Zeldrus was the one that had brought that up. Said he's the only unique ultimate.
Yeah, no, that was me.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he has a unique ult, and he's probably just like my favorite in general.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so with season 3, what do you think that they could change to help you with the dive situation as you being a primary support player?
I feel like maybe because I have heard that they're giving damage buffs to some support people, I maybe think like give Black Panther maybe some nerfs. And I feel like for Spider-Man's uppercut, because I've seen one time I was playing, I believe Iron Man. I was probably about like 4 meters away, probably,
Mm-hmm.
and it still somehow killed me.
Mm. Okay, I wouldn't be opposed to that as
Mm,
a Spider-Man main,
mm, mm,
even though I tend to
Bib.
flex. Is there anything else that you'd like to add, Loki? Any other thoughts or feelings, opinions?
Mm. I feel like this maybe just nerf dives in general,
Mm-hmm.
and I've seen like because I also main like Doctor Strange for tank. Um, Mr. Fantastic's like how he grabs onto you and then like goes and like punches you or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that before, and it knocks me out of like my flying ability sometimes.
Mm. Okay. So, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No.
No. Do you do any content creation, stream, anything like that? You want to plug anything?
Yeah, I'm a little YouTuber who makes some edits sometimes.
Okay.
My YouTuber name is Galactic Flash.
Okay. Alrighty. And just to make sure you said it's Galactic Flash, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. Thank you, Loki. Next, we're going to do Adrian. Adrian, are you ready to speak?
I'm sure.
Okay. Go ahead and introduce yourself, buddy.
Alright, well, let's see. Well, I'm Adrian, as everyone knows. I started playing once Rivals was available on GeForce on season 1. It wasn't out on season 0, so I didn't play it too. I only started playing on season 1. And then what got me into it was just the fact that I'm a big Marvel fan. Never played a game like this, so this was whole new territory. So like this game was like hellish in a sense because when you don't do anything, don't play something like this, you're gonna get screwed around. I remember, and then like I remember the one friend I did play with, we only played quick play, and then I was interested in doing competitive, which I like competitive because like improving the rank, but then I noticed I just was not good, and I thought about that until a while. So the more I played, I gravitated towards the healer role. The two more play characters is Luna Snow, but with this new and Cloak and Dagger, and I think my peak was platinum plat one. I made the diamond, but BS happened.
Mm-hmm.
But so I didn't make it to diamond. Also close to. And then new season came around. I think this is the first time I actually queued enough with friends to make it back to like gold. Because I usually just play support, right? So my two and the friends I play with now are like DPS mains. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just and I wish I did them in matches like carry matches like being I got carried by or the where they put in the past and I don't know if it is low rank, but I don't feel the point systems messing me up
I'm
because
sorry.
like
You said you don't feel the point of what?
no, I don't feel the point system like remember how healers are suffering.
Mm-hmm.
So like maybe because of the fact that how it's based on the character you have and compared to all the characters. So if you're Cloak and Dagger player, you're gonna get compared to every single Cloak and Dagger in gold. So I guess I just outperform most of them, and then I just get like a lot of points whenever I play Cloak and Dagger.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to play Luna, but with the dive stuff, I just can't play. She just really hard with the aim mechanics, and second, she like one of the easier characters to dive. So I just been playing Cloak and Dagger.
Mm. Okay.
But I wouldn't say the dive unless it's like coordinated dive where you have like two dive tank, a flanker, Spidey, Iron Fist, like if it's just like uncoordinated dive, like you just have a Black Panther or like something else like that, like it's very manageable unless if you play around it with your other healer. Like there's been so much time where I get dived by Black Panther and actually a really good one too. Like he knows what to do. And then I was Spider-Man too, and what I do is either try to fight it, and if I can't fight it because I missed my mirror, I run to the other healer, and mostly that because like a lot of cool like the Spider-Man one-shot combo. If you get healed once, the 250 HP combo can't kill you. You have to do even more stuff. And same thing goes for like Black Panther's one-shot combo. So if you just run by your healer, he doesn't have enough damage to kill you unless he has his ultimate. Which is why it always annoys me when I try to run to my healer, or they so far back in the backline where I need to run to him manually and lose out on high ground, or the fact that the other healer not helping me out with the dive.
Okay. So what do you think in season 3 that they could do to maybe motivate healers to work together?
I mean, they really can't do much. That's just it just a what you might call it. That just something you learn over time, or like something you have to do. Like what I do to get them to do it is, I basically take the dive to them. I make it their problem too.
Mm.
That and then same thing goes for like the other character, the other like the tank or DPS. I take it to my Winter Soldier. Next thing I knew, that Panther it gone. Spider-Man, more like Pedestrian Man,
Mm.
and then like I don't think and David is it just a whole different discussion because it either you're doing so much or you're doing nothing at the same time. Like you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So like I don't think they should nerf it because realistically, I don't think Black.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat it this night tonight.
And did you try? I don't know.
One moment, I need to mute him. Give me 1 second. All right, there we go. Go ahead, Adrian.
You know you. Well, no, you didn't really mute him. Or you more like you muted him for yourself.
Yeah, I don't know how to. I didn't feel like taking the time to look to see. I just wanted to mute it so it wouldn't bleed over for the video.
Okay. And all you have to do is right click on them. That's it.
Mm.
Okay, but I don't think they should nerf Panther because right now if even when you play him correctly, he kind of in a really weak spot. Even if you play him correctly, just he's really good against players that just doesn't know how to like counter him. Because like if you let Panther beat you, you're probably playing a healer that can a diveable healer basically. You're playing something like Luna Snow. You're playing who else is diveable? Actually, they probably just Luna. I forget. If you know, it's just Luna who diveable. No one after. But but I feel like dive is countable if you could like as healer you have to switch and not get DPS and tank have to switch. You kind of have to switch if you're a healer. Like you switch for like more heal, more offense, and then like you switch for like anti-dive cases that can counter backline stuff. And then what I think they can do is kind of diversify the healing role because you will have your heal bots, which I think that's by design, right? But then you have like characters like Mantis who can be like off healers, which is basically offensive healers. Like that DPS that so-called can heal, right? So like I just think they'd have to add different stuff, like occasionally maybe one or two heal but because that's just like the easiest role to like get introduced players to. But then like you have like those diamond or rough so that like Loki's your like I think Goldtown will be a good example of this because he feels from what I see from his league kid too. He seems like a mix of damage and healing. I think
This is
uh,
for you said this is for Ultron.
from his from the leagues and stuff. We don't know if it comes through or not, but yeah.
Okay, all right, alrighty. You want to land your plane there? Is there anything else that you want to add?
Now we're gonna talk about the rank, but I think and I haven't been too complaining. I've been to other support play. It hasn't been that bad.
Mm.
Like I mean, because I did play the characters that benefit the most from it too.
Yeah, and you said just to clarify, you said that from playing Cloak and Dagger, you're not really feeling the point system as much as bad as like other
Yeah, but
players, other support players. I mean,
yeah, but then what I realized when I was watching like high rank games from people like on Flats or Burger,
mm-hmm.
they would play right too, and they actually play really good. But there's some matchup which get like really screwed over from the point system, like getting like 14 or 12 points
Mm-hmm.
when they did doing the role correctly and not farming for kills.
Okay.
I think that's just a high rank issue because like since it compares you to all the other characters, all you have to do is try to play as best as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically, get some KO, do your job, and that's it.
Okay. Alrighty. You have anything else you want to add?
I think basically it's because I'm also platinum, but I don't think I have much more to say.
Okay. You want to plug anything while you're here?
And I don't really
Channel
have anything.
plug and no.
I have not. I do, but nothing. It's not rivals related, so I just feel like it's worth it.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you want to plug something while you're here, man, go ahead. If people are listening,
I
you
just
know.
have I just have one channel. I just one channel just called Red Thunder King. Just make tell stuff about like gacha games and that's it. Rival the just side thing I like.
Okay. And just make sure you said that's Red Thunder King, right?
Yeah,
And that's on
it's like the
YouTube.
same exact way. Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. Alrighty. Well, with that being said, we're gonna go to last but definitely not least, friend of mine, Evil Witch Jean over here, aka Madam Janette. You ready to speak?
Hello, I'm Janette. You may call me Mistress or Jean. I'm 29, I'm a woman, and I play in the East Coast servers. My socials are mostly just the same name, Mistress Anomaly, mostly streaming on Twitch. I am a Lord Magneto and a sub-thing player. As the tank, you all know what my job is. I push the front line, I contest their tanks, I am the wall between my teammates and the enemies. The problem I've experienced is people who don't play tank, assuming how my job works. They don't understand my cooldowns, how the character works, or the situations I excel in. A big example is the cloak and dagger thing. Yes, I am capable of hitting them out of their ultimate and killing them, but most don't understand how that works. My ultimate works off of projectiles in the zone, so for some team comps, I am unable to outdamage their ultimate. I prefer using it to clear projectile walls from characters like Gila or Punisher. If I hear a maximum pulse or judge jury, a meteor is smacking them back. I also do want to say I am tired of the dive fights being discussed. There are several counters that people refuse to play. Penny Parker, Mr. Fantastic, good communication. Dive is strong against bad teams. Now, something you may have all noticed about me is how this voice sounds. It's clearly fake. This is because of my disability. I am mute. I'm born unable to speak. And I use this to speak. This has led to massive amounts of disrespect and mockery. I am treated as less than a person for how I sound. I'm either ignored or mocked. And it's honestly depressing. But as I said, communication is what saves teams, so I need to keep talking. I also have 2 other mains, Star-Lord and Adam Warlock, so I'm not just locked to tank. I find it helps me focus my aim to put on music and to sync my combat to it. It's a weird skill I have. Yesterday night I demonstrated this on Star-Lord with the song Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones, which I bet you guys didn't notice. My final notes before Dark asks me a question. Teams I get often fight each other more than the enemies. It's a problem when supports and damage squabble in chat while I'm trying to hold a point.
I'm assuming that's your break for me to ask you a question, Gene. Just making sure.
I had like 5 minutes to write all that.
Oh, well, no, it was very well put. And I would just like to add, anybody who's putting anyone down for any type of disabilities whatsoever, obviously not cool. Come on, what are we doing? But yeah, also too, I want to go ahead and ask, with season 3 coming up, what are some things that you feel like they could probably work on to make either your life easier or team's life easier, or just for the betterment of the game in general?
Team ups 100%.
Team ups? What type of team ups would you like to see?
Let me see new and unique abilities. Like, I think it'd be a cool way to shift things up to give more tanks more mobility using team ups.
I'm all for tanks having more mobility, honestly. All for that. Okay. Gene, is there anything else that you would like to add that maybe you didn't think of before, or anything
Give
else?
Magneto free flight.
I think a lot of people want Magneto to have free. I really don't understand why he doesn't, honestly, just a little bit. I'm going to give you a moment because I know there's probably a delay with the text-to-speech, if you'd like to add anything else in while we have you.
As a team up with someone, he should be able to fly.
Who do you think that should give him flight ability, just out of curiosity, team up wise?
I think they could go back with the thematic thing and have Scarlet Witch do it.
Should he still have his sword team up ability, or no, just flight?
I assume not at the same time during the schedule for team ups.
Okay. And is there anything else that you'd like to add before we wrap you up and go? I believe Comm wants to speak as well.
I will be honest. That was all improvised, and I'm sure I could have had more and better points, but I didn't have the time to write them all.
I think you did a great job. I wouldn't worry about it. I think you did great.
That's all I had to say. Thank you for having me.
Oh, of course. Thank you for joining us. Alrighty. I know I said last but not least, but we're going to bring in Comm here because he's been patiently waiting. Let me unmute him. Comm, you there, buddy?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Alrighty. Comm, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Calm, and what is it called? I'm new to hero shooters. Is there something specifically I'm supposed to like a little?
No, you just you introduce yourself, and then you can just talk about your experiences in regards to the game, or other games of similar fashion, like other hero shooters and stuff like that. Whatever you'd like to share with us and discuss.
Okay. Well, I was just gonna say, because people were talking about Marvel Rivals and like some people how they got into the game and everything. I was saying that for me, it was actually just randomly like it just popped up on Steam, and I'm actually used to playing fighting games just like that FGC guy, whoever joined. and I also play card games as well, like Yu-Gi-Oh. But that's just those are like one-on-one interactions. But they have a lot of capabilities to be implemented into like games that work with teams. Almost every game can work together in some aspect, but uh, basically, I got into this game because due due to I wanted to play the Wolverine game that comes out on PlayStation whenever. I don't know when it's coming out, but
Hold on one second. I just
I
got to
saw it.
interject with that really quick. I don't mean to cut you off, brother. That
Oh,
game was leaked. That was probably one of the worst leaks in all of gaming history. I don't think a game has
well,
ever been
I
leaked to
don't
that
even know
extent.
when it's coming out, bro. I don't,
I don't, I
I
don't,
don't
I don't
like.
think that it is. To be honest with you, that was the
Yeah,
most
that's what I was
detrimental
telling my
leak that I
brother. I
have
was
ever
like,
seen.
when is this game coming out? I want to
Nah,
see
it was
everything.
already supposed to
And
come
he
out at
said
this
it.
point, wasn't it? It was like 3 years ago
Yeah,
was
I
the
think
leak, or
so.
two, or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
yeah, two
I'm
or
pretty sure
like
they
I don't know
scrapped
what
that one,
one.
buddy, or took it way back
Yeah,
to the drawing
yeah.
board. You know.
So yeah, I was like fiending to play it, and then I see that like my friends were playing. We play card games through Discord, um, and we were trying to find a game to play together. But I was like, oh, I have Call of Duty, like the new Black Ops 6. And
Mhm.
they're like, well, I don't want to spend $60. I'm like, okay, there's this Marvel Rivals game, and they're like, yeah, yeah, I like Marvel. Like Deadpool should be in it, right? I'm like, I think so. He wasn't in it. But I liked Wolverine. I was like hoping he would be in the game. I guess he was the last person to be added to the game. So I was like, oh, so now I could play my main Wolverine, which is a DPS. I I didn't even know. I still don't know the lingos of most stuff. I mean, I've heard people say it multiple times. Like when I hear a lot of something, then I learn that, oh, okay, DPS is the people who just do a lot of damage.
Mhm.
Or I don't even know what people mean when they say poke, or when they say a healer has like certain type of heals or something. I still don't know how that works.
Mhm.
I'm still like learning other characters, even though I have like lords on multiple of them. Like, uh, but what I was trying to get to is I played this game a lot ever since the start of the season, or whatever the first season was, or season 0.
Mhm.
And I've always solo queued. I never really played with the squad, but I made it I guess pretty far for someone who's never played a hero shooter before.
Mhm.
Um, the highest I've ever gotten was last season. Well, whatever the 1.5 was, which is Celestial 2.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was tough getting there. I tell you that. It's not even like the game because mechanically, in a way, the way I play or think, it doesn't. It's not that hard. It's usually your, it's usually your teammates. I'm not gonna lie. Like, they're. I don't know what's up with them. I don't know if it's. Someone told me in the server earlier. It's like because you're playing solo queue, you're getting the worst and the best possible. My luck is more on the on the bad side, but uh I flex due to the fact because I main Wolverine, but everybody like usually bans him, like at least the early seasons. They don't ban him now,
Mhm.
but everybody usually insta-locks DPS, so I can never play DPS. So I'm either playing tank or healer. So that's why I play Loki most of the time,
Mhm.
because Loki literally can grab any tank or DPS. If one of our DPS aren't doing right, I'll just copy them and just get kills with them and then just heal again.
Mm.
Or like tank, because most people don't want to play tank. Also, some people don't know how to play tank, I guess. I don't know.
Mm.
But it's gotten to the point where people in high ranks, I don't understand how they play only one character. Like I to literally to this day, I'll play with like a one trick Spider-Man, and if it gets banned, he just throws the game. I don't know why, but it's like he gets banned most of the time. Like you should have someone else to play, right?
You
But
you
no,
you would
I guess
think.
yeah. But instead, they just I guess we all lose because like that's yeah like what it we're all a team. Like if you do something that would like throwing, you're gonna drag everybody down with you. I literally was just in like yesterday night. I could have been Grandmaster 3 and I was playing with another person from this server and they were like we went on a 5 game winning streak and we needed one more win and I could have got Grandmaster. And it was this Iron Man. He actually did pretty good. He was like 20-3 and we got all the way to the end point, like not to where we got capped to where it's 3-0. It was 2-0, but it was almost 3-0. and we didn't have a shield tank, so they got mad at us because our solo tank, because I played healer at the time because we needed a healer. Our solo tank was Thor, and you know how most people don't really like having a Thor as a solo tank on their team. They would rather have a Magneto, a Strange, or maybe even an Emma. But they played Thor and they did good with Thor. So I'm like, I'm not gonna go ahead and tell them like, hey, like switch off Thor. Like they did good. We just didn't get it all the way there. But our Iron Man was really suggesting we get a Magneto, but he kept on like saying like we need to get a Magneto. We need a shield. We need a shield. Like I was gonna say like maybe I'll switch to it, but Thor was like, I don't know how to play Magneto, and I'm like, you know, we could just keep going with this. It's working. But the Iron Man just kept saying it, and I guess they got the scorer on our team really mad. So they just got on the mic and started yelling at the Iron Man. I guess the Iron Man couldn't take it anymore, I guess. So they switched to Black Widow. After we switched sides, and they switched to Black Widow, and our Thor teammate was like, "Are you good with Black Widow? Like, I see you switching." The Black Widow said, "Yeah, I'm good with Black Widow." And as soon as we like everybody left the spawn except Black Widow and me, because I was like looking at them like they weren't moving. I was like, please don't tell me that you really gonna throw this game. Like they're actually doing good. Like it doesn't make sense to me. So and then they end up leaving the spawn and running all the way to the back to all the way to like the third cap, all the way to our third cap spawn, I guess you could say, if they cap it all the way, and just sat in the corner. I was like, bro, I think we lost because there's no way you're gonna win a 5v6. So, like logically, you should never win a 5v6, even if like we're the better 5 and they're the better 6. There's just more bodies. Like 2v1ing one person should be enough to kill somebody. Get someone out of there all the time. So after that happened, we lost like 4 games in a row because EOMM supposedly. And I was like, man, and my duo teammate was like, man, I thought we had it. We almost got you to Grandmaster. I'm like, yeah, now we're gonna have to do this all over again. Like, it's just, and it's like, man, should I do this every season, or should I just play casually and have some fun with people in custom games or in this server? Like, and I enjoy rank. It's just when those times that happens, it's not enjoyable. I can't really see it enjoyable for anybody, not even the person throwing. Like, so if there were to be anything to change for that, I don't even know how you change that, because it's like, is that like mental, are they just mentally checked out because that has happened multiple times? So like, I don't know how to fix that. That's
question really quick to interject. Do you report people for throwing in ranked matches?
No. Because I try to understand everything. Like I even if it's just a 15-year-old kid who just got off of school and just wants to troll, they'll literally talk on the mic or type and say things. You can't kind of get the gist that, oh, he's probably under the age of 18. He just trolling around. It is what it is. Like, I avoid them, of course. I don't want them as my teammate again. But I'm not gonna report them. Like, it happens. But I actually, I don't think I've ever reported somebody. I've avoided them, but never reported.
A better man than me. I've lost count of how many.
I understand the report and not to report. Like, I understand like people do some weird things. So yeah.
So what do you think is something that they could probably do that? Because I feel like that's what you talked about this whole time. So that's probably we could agree that's
what I think they could probably do. I just think, like, ever since this game came out, the friend I play with in card games, like me and him played it. He played Wanda. He liked Wanda. He thought Wanda was so overpowered. He was like, dude, I just gotta hold the click button and that's it. Like, she just kills people. But he was like, but I don't want to play any of the other roles. I said, why? It's like they're barely, like, there are only like 8 of these Vanguard people and like 8 healer people. I'm like, I agree. Like, it kind of incentivizes you to play DPS because there's so much variety there, you know? Like, so I just think they need to have more Vanguards and strategists. That would help like balance out the game a little bit, so people just don't feel like they always have to play Emma at Vanguard because they like the way Emma is and she's the only one that does. Is she plays more like a DPS in a way, in my opinion.
Yes,
Than a
I
Vanguard.
agree. I agree.
Yeah. And then the strategist, something like I don't want to like echo. I guess everybody's saying like Luna's is just you're invincible and everything, but there are also other characters in this game like they're not meta like Iron Man and Scarlet Witch. That if you I've had crazy games where like we're all ulting, like everyone's just ulting and ulting. But like the one ults like Iron Man and Scarlet Witch, if you have those people ult and no one does anything about it, like they could get rid of everybody. So like it it's like I understand why certain characters in this game are like how they are supposed to play in the game. I think it's just everybody's so used to like a tier list of people playing those characters. You shouldn't play anything else, and if you're playing anything else it's considered stupid. You can play whatever you want. If like I said, our Thor did good solo tanking. He's not supposed to, but he did. So if it works, it works. I don't care how casual or like competitive you are. Like you could be the best score player ever, and just because someone tells you to play Namor, but you know how to CC people better than Namor can, then go ahead. I don't see the problem.
Okay. All righty. Well, do you want to land your plane there? Is there anything else that you'd like to add in?
No, that's it.
Do you have any plugs that you'd like to mention? Doesn't have to be Marvel Rivals related. It can be anything that you feel and anything within reason that's appropriate, family friendly.
I have my cousin. He has a website. I guess I can add that.
Yeah, plug him up.
It's his website is imfighterflight.com. He's a mental health. He helps with mental health. That's probably it.
Listen. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I think that there's a lot of people in the Marvel Rivals community that could, partake in some of that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So, well, Comm, I like everything you said. I think it was very well spoken, and I do appreciate you joining in and giving your perspective. Okay.
Yep.
And you don't have to leave if you want. I was going to say, for the people in the audience listening, I'm about to go call my, you said at dark, can I give you my link tree? Yes, just message it to me, Gene. Okay. What was I going to say? Yeah, everybody else that's in the audience, I'm going to allow you to speak if you'd like and join in. I'm going to make a phone call really quick, and then I'll be right back. But this is where I'm going to end the video.